Here I am going to mention statement 2 of Rolle's theorem. Actually statement 1 and statement 2 both look similar. See, what is statement 1? A function is continuous, a function is differentiable, and f of a is equals to f of b. Then there exists some c, at least one c, such that f dash of c is equals to 0. You just revise that class for the statement 1 of Rolle's theorem. Here I am just mentioning statement 2, which is simply nothing but everything is just like Rolle's theorem statement 1, but we just add is equals to 0 for this equality. Okay, so if f of x is a function which is continuous as well as differentiable, and f of a is equals to f of b, and these two are equals to 0. Since these two are equals to 0, that means f of a is equals to f of b is equals to 0. That means a comma b are roots of f of x. Okay, a comma b are roots of f of x. See, a comma b are roots of a function, and the graph of that function is continuous and differentiable in between ab, that means in the interval ab. Then there exists at least one alpha. Actually I need to mention here at least. Then there exists at least one alpha such that f dash of alpha is equals to 0. As we discussed in the last class, f dash of alpha 0 in the sense alpha is the root of f dash of x. So then there exists at least one root for f dash of x. This is statement 1. Okay, for statement 2 of Rolle's theorem. See, for statement 2, first of all we need to check the continuity and differentiability of a function, and then we need to identify any two roots of the function. Then automatically there exists at least one root for the derivative of the function in between the roots. Once again, for a function, if it is continuous and differentiable, then for sure there exists one root for the derivative of the function in between the roots of the function. Okay, see, instead of checking continuity and differentiability, if you have a polynomial equation, if you have a polynomial function, or you may say polynomial equation, since we know that polynomials are always differentiable and continuous, so no need to check continuity and differentiability for the polynomial functions. And for polynomial functions, as per this statement, between any two roots, for sure there exists one root for the derivative of that particular polynomial. This statement is just reconversion of statement 2, just development from the statement 2 and statement 1 of Rolle's theorem, very helps us in solving or in finding number of roots of different equations. And I will give you some problems based on this particular statement to count the number of zeros, or you may say number of solutions, or the number of roots for an equation. And once again we just revise this statement. Always we need to have two roots for the given function or polynomial, and in between those two roots the given function is continuous as well differentiable. In that case, for sure there exists one root for the derivative of the function, or you may say the derivative for the polynomial. If you wish to check it graphically, for suppose if you have a function and its two roots are a, b, since it is x-axis, okay, a is and b are points on x-axis, since f of a and f of b are zeros, so the graph for sure passes through these 2 points. Passing through these 2 points, we need to sketch a continuous graph. How to sketch the graph? See, as we discussed in the last class, the graph may be like this. In the same way, if these two are the points, the graph may be like this. In the same way, if this is what you say point A, and if you say this is point B, the graph for sure passes through these 2 points, and you may sketch the graph like this. There are many possibilities like this. In this case, in between A and B, there is one turning here. At this point, if we sketch the tangent, slope of the tangent is 0. That means at this particular point, you may say it as alpha or c. At this point, the derivative of the function is 0. Again, here in this case, here we will get one point at which the derivative of the function is 0. Whereas if the graph of f of x or polynomial is like this, then in between a and b, here we have 3 points where the derivative of the given polynomial or function is 0. That means we will get 3 roots. Okay, sometimes we will get 3 roots, sometimes we will get 2 roots, sometimes we will get 1 root. But the statement concludes that there exists at least one root. There exists at least one root if the function or the polynomial is continuous and differentiable between the roots of the given polynomial. Okay, this is statement 2. Just have a look, and I am going to give you some simple problems and tricks in finding the number of solutions based on this. Have a look. P of x is a polynomial, and we need to check a relation between the number of roots of P of x and the number of roots of P dash of x. And since P of x is a polynomial, and for sure it is continuous as well as it is differentiable. And if there exist 2 roots for P of x, if there exist 2 roots, say alpha, beta, then in that case what will happen? Since there exist 2 roots for this, then for sure there exists one root for P dash of x. This is an if and only if condition. If P dash of x has one root, then there exist 2 roots for P of x. If P of x has 2 roots, then there exists one root for P dash of x. For suppose if we have 3 roots here, then there exist 2 roots for P dash of x. For suppose since we have 3 roots, see alpha is one root, beta is another root, gamma is another root. We need to sketch the graph passing through these 3 points. See, in sketching this graph passing through these 2 points, you will get at least 2 roots for this P dash of x. See, this is one possibility, right? One of the possibility. And in this case, you have 2 turning points. At these 2 turnings, the derivative of the given polynomial is 0. So, P dash of x is 0 at 2 points. Okay, one point is this and the other point is this, so it has at least 2 roots. The process will continue. If there exist 4 roots for P of x, that indicates that there exist at least 3 roots for P dash of x. Always if a function P of x has n root, then P dash of x has at least n minus 1 roots. Okay, just keep in mind. Have a polynomial P of x which is obviously continuous and differentiable. Its first derivative is P dash of x, its second derivative is P double dash of x, its third derivative is P triple dash of x. Like that we continue. Suppose P triple dash of x has 10 roots. What it means? P triple dash of x has 10 roots. If P triple dash of x has 10 roots, what it means? P triple dash of x is the derivative of P dash of x. We know it, right? Derivative of P of x is P dash, derivative of P dash is P double dash, derivative of P double dash is P triple dash. If this P triple dash of x has 10 roots, it means that it's before function P double dash of x. P double dash of x has 10 rolls, or you may say 10 turnings. Okay, if this function has 10 turnings, then its derivative for sure has 10 roots. If we have initially P triple dash of x has 10 roots, which concludes that P double dash of x has 10 turnings. Since P double dash of x has 10 turnings, that means P double dash of x has 11 roots. It has 11 roots, right? Since P double dash of x has 11 roots, then its before function P dash of x has 11 turnings. Since P dash of x has 11 turnings, that in turn represents that P dash of x has 12 roots. You just try to identify. If P double dash of x has 12 roots, then in between them we will get turnings, so its derivative has 11 turnings, that means 11 roots. If it has 11 roots, then its derivative has 10 turnings, and that means 10 roots. So this is all if and only if condition, and this type of logic helps us in deciding the number of solutions and or roots for the equations. I will give you some problems now to solve. Just have a look. Find number of real roots of the given equations. and I am going to find out the number of real roots for these problems one by one using Rolle's theorem. You may say it as statement 1 or statement 2. At the end we just use Rolle's theorem. So think about the first problem. See, this is the given polynomial equation, and I will take my function f of x here as 3x power 5 plus 15x minus 8, if this is the function. See, this function is clearly continuous, this function is clearly differentiable, and I am going to find out the number of roots for this. Since I don't know the way of factorizing or everything here, I will just go with the derivative of this f of x. See, you just find its derivative f dash of x. What is the derivative of f of x? 3x power 5, and directly I am going to write x power 5, 5x power 4. So this is 15x power 4 plus for 15x it is 15 minus 1. F dash of x is this. So, no, not minus 1. For 8 the derivative is 0, right? Since it is a constant. Okay. So clearly f dash of x is equals to 15 of x plus x power 4 plus 1. As we discussed in 4b or 4c, first of all try to find out the roots of f dash of x. From there conclude the roots of f of x. Here f dash of x has no roots. X power 4 plus 1 never be 0. This is always a positive thing, right? See, 15 times of x power 4 plus 1, this is always positive. For any real x, this is never 0. So that means f dash of x has no roots. Since f dash of x has no roots, what we will conclude? Since f dash of x has no roots, that in turn it concludes that f of x has no turnings. F of x has no turnings, no rolls. Since f of x has no turnings or no rolls, f of x just crosses x-axis only once. Okay? See, to cross once again it need to turn. But according to this, f dash of x indicates that there are no turnings for f of x. Since it has no turnings, the graph may be like this. Okay, this is a straight line actually. As per the given function, the graph may be like this. It just passes through x-axis only once. So f of x has one real root. It has only one real root, and all the other roots are imaginary. So that's it. Number of real roots for the given equation is just one root. Okay, we will conclude just by the help of Rolle's theorem. Consider the function as f of x, find its derivative. Its derivative has no zeros, so the given function has no turnings. That indicates that the given polynomial equation has only one root. There ends the problem, right? In the same way, you just think about bit b. For this, you just take my function just like g of x. G of x, here it is x cube minus 6x square plus 15x plus 3. This is g of x. To find the number of roots for this g of x, we need to concentrate on its derivative g dash of x. And z dash of x is derivative of x cube is 3x square, and this is what, minus 12x plus 15, and for plus 3 it is 0. This is equals to 3 times x square minus 4x plus 5. And we will rewrite it like this: 3 into x minus 1 into x minus 5. Right. See, 3 into x minus 1 into x minus 5. From this it is very clear that g dash of x has two roots. Z dash of x has two roots. Since z dash of x has two roots, which indicates that the given function g of x has two turnings. Since g of x has two turnings, that indicates that g of x has three real roots. Is it right? If it has three real roots, then it passes through, see, this function. Since it has three real roots like alpha, beta, gamma, the graph passes through these 3 points. That indicates that it has two turnings. That means derivative has two roots. So, but we are moving in the reverse order. Since g dash of x has two roots, that concludes that the given function g of x has three real roots. There ends the problem. First equation is of 5th degree. So totally it has 5 roots, and among those 5 roots, one root is real, other 4 are imaginary. And the second equation, it is cubic equation, and this equation has all 3 roots as real numbers, right? And in the same way, you just try to find the number of roots for bit C of 5th one. Try once. Okay, once again look here. It's a bit correction actually. Okay. See, this is x square minus 4x plus 5. We can't write it like x minus 1 into x minus 5. Okay. Factorization is not possible. If you check its discriminant 16 minus 20 negative, again it has no roots. We can't factorize it. Then there is no possibility to find the x value here. No possibility to find the roots for g dash of x. Since again g dash of x has no roots, which concludes that g of x has again one root only. Okay, just recheck it. Okay, derivative of g of x has no roots, and so g of x has only one root, and this function totally has three roots. One is the real root and the other two are complex. Okay, right, you just think about bit c. And for third one, the polynomial equation is this: 4x cube minus 21x square plus 18x plus 20 is equals to 0. You just take that polynomial as 4x cube minus 12x square plus 18x plus 20. Right? You just try to find its derivative p dash of x, which is for 4x cube, that is 12x square, for 12x square, which is 24x, and for 18x it is 18. Try to find the roots for p dash of x. From there conclude the root of p of x. So p dash of x is 12x square minus 42x plus 18. You just pick out 3. 4x square minus 3 14s plus 3 6. And then we have a possibility to pick out 2 also. Right. At the end totally pick out 6. So 6 into 2x square minus 7x plus 3. Try to factorize it. 3 2s is 6. So we have a possibility minus 6 and minus 1. So I will write it like this: 2x, and here it is x minus 3 minus x plus 3. 2x minus 1 into x minus 3. Check it. 2x square minus 6x minus x minus 7x plus 3. That means p dash of x has two roots. P dash of x has two roots. Since p dash of x has two roots, which concludes that p of x has three roots. As we discussed, p of x has three roots. So finally, this given polynomial has three roots, and those three are all real roots. That's it. Okay. This is the way of counting the number of real roots for the given polynomial equations with the help of what? Rolle's theorem. Okay. Have a look. Look at the problem. We need to show that there exists no k for which the equation has two distinct roots in 0, 1. See, you just replace k with different real values. No value is possible in the place of k, so that x cube minus 3x plus k has two distinct roots in the interval 0, 1. That's the problem. See how to solve this. First of all, our intention is to use Rolle's theorem. Let the polynomial equation or the function as x cube minus 3x plus k, and for every k this is continuous and differentiable since it is of the polynomial form. You just try to mention its derivative, p dash of x. Its derivative is simply 3x square minus 3 and plus k, it is 0. That is equals to 3 into x minus 1 into x plus 1. 3 into x minus 1 into x plus 1. What it means? That means p dash of x has two roots. P dash of x has two roots, and specifically those roots are minus 1 and 1. See, if p dash of x has two roots, then what we will say about p of x? If p dash of x has two roots, then p of x has three roots as per our discussion. P of x has three real roots. Okay. P of x has three real roots. what we need to conclude is, for no real k, this equation has two distinct roots in the interval 0, 1. In between 0 and 1, it has no roots. That's what we need to conclude. See here, the problem is bit different actually. See, P of x has 3 real roots, that was clear. P dash of x is 2 roots, that is also clear. P dash of x has 2 roots, namely -1, 1. And that concludes that this P of x has turnings at -1, 1. See, at -1 we have one turning, at 1 we have another turning. See, to make those turnings, to sketch the graph of the polynomial with turnings at -1, 1, okay, having 3 roots for the polynomial, this is one possibility. If you sketch like that, one root for P of x exists less than -1, other root exists greater than this one, but in between this 0 and 1, there is a possibility of only one root. Two distinct roots between 0 and 1 are always not possible. That's the statement. Okay? So there exists no real k for which the given polynomial equation has two distinct roots in between 0 and 1. There is a possibility of getting one root in between 0 and 1, but there is no chance to get two roots in between 0 and 1. Because just observe the graph. We have two turnings at -1, 1 for P of x. This is one possibility. Or if you go with the other possibility, yeah, if you have -1 and 1 and 0 here, one turning at -1, other turning at 1. Maybe the other shape, other type of the graph is like this. Or sometimes, see, this line may not pass through in between 0 and 1. There is a possibility for this path to move in this way. If the graph moves like that, there exists no roots between 0 and 1. There is a chance to get no roots between 0 and 1. There is a chance to get one root between 0 and 1. But we have no chance to get two roots between 0 and 1. So, there exists no k for which the equation has two distinct roots in 0, 1. That's the problem. Okay? Just have a look. And that's for the class. In the next class, I will mention Lagrange's theorem, Cauchy's mean value theorem, intermediate mean value theorem. I will give you the statements and one problem for each in the next class. And after that, we are going to handle different miscellaneous problems on mean values theorem. Then there ends the concept of mean value theorems. Okay? Have a look.